Oh, well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And it is hot, and it is humid. It's in the double-digit humidity again. That's terrible, just terrible. So I spent most of the day in and out of the Tote koozie, keeping myself cooled and hydrated. Anyway, there's been a little discussion about how these things got loaded. Well, Don used the forklift to put them all on there. And then it was brought up on, well, how about unloading? Well, I'm going to do it by myself. I'm going to unload all of that by myself. And I don't have a forklift. So how am I going to do that? Well, I think what I do is first, if I take off all of the pallets, then the totes will be down lower and easier to handle. No, that won't work. Okay. So what if I rev up the van, throw it in drive and punch it and scoot the trailer out from underneath them all so they're down lower so I can actually, no, that won't work either, huh? I know. How about if I fill the totes with helium so that they're really super light and floating? No, I don't have that much helium. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Okay. Sorry for dragging it on like that. I just had to do that. I've been thinking about that all day. It's just been on my mind because I had nothing better to do but to try to keep cool. Anyway, these two pallets that are on the side are different than the others. These only have the cross pieces on one side, 4x4s on the other, on this bottom side. And then they had 2x3s nailed on them, with those right there, so that you get forks underneath them to lift them. And these are all doubled 2x6s on them. So what I'm going to do is I've already disconnected that when I left the straps on because I couldn't do anything this morning when it was cool because the winds were too high. And I didn't want to unstrap this and have one of those empty totes get blown off on top of my head or on top of the van or whatever. It just was not what I thought would be a good idea. So I left them strapped with two straps. And when it calms down a little bit and it's not too hot, I'll get those down from there. And then I can unload the pallets. So what I did today was I had this metal bracket laying in my scrap metal drawer. So I fastened that onto the top pallet so I could hook this ratchet strap in, and I've got it tied down so that they're anchored in the front. And then I disconnected everything that was holding the side pallet on this side, and I left this strap on the back because that's holding all of these pallets down to the trailer in the back side. And that one is still fastened to those units. And these are the 1-bys that I told you that he also gave me. And I'll be cleaning those up. And I've got a great idea of what I'm going to be doing with that. But anyway, so what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to take this unit and with the 4x4s upward, I'm going to lean it so that this set of 2x6s are right on top of this. And before I do that, I'm going to fasten a 2x4, which is right here. I'm going to fasten this 2x4 onto the face right across here so that this has something to rest on. And then I can shoot a couple of few 3-inch screws right through the, actually I use 4-inch screws, going right through the top plates of this into that 2x4 so it won't slip. And then just for safety's sake, I'll take one of these straps and I'll wrap it around this unit and this 4x4 to lock it in place, just so it can't slip out or anything like that. Then I would take a long piece of rope, which I have in my container, and I'll toss it under the trailer, bring it up the backside, and fasten it to the bottom rack of the tote, right about at this location, but on the other side. Okay, so now I can drag this off and get it leaning down onto the ramp that I have here, and I'll have a hold of the rope that runs underneath here, so I can control as I let the rope out. This thing should slide down this ramp and end up on the ground right here. And that's my plan. Remember, I always say, work smart, not hard. So there won't be any muscle grunting or anything like that, because with the 4-point drag on the rope, it's going to be pretty easy to hold. And these empty totes aren't heavy to start with. I could actually move them around by hand, but coming down the ramp, I just want to be able to control them so they don't take off and do a tumble or anything like that. Because these are nice totes, they're nice and clean, and won't take much to clean them, get the rest of the oils out of them, and get them ready for setup. Then I was thinking, instead of taking this pallet and the other one apart, I like to raise my totes up like I did with the cinder block over there. But I need cinder block. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to empty those 2 totes out completely. And before I put any more water in them, I'm going to take that all apart there so that I have room for 3 totes there. That'll go on one of these pallets. And then I'll just have a couple of cinder block on the ends, on the 2 corners or the 4 corners, and in the middle. And the rest of the cinder block can go back into usage. So that's my plan. And then I'll have 3 totes on one pallet there. And then on this side of the greenhouse, which takes the biggest hit in the windy season in the winter, and also takes the biggest heat hit in the afternoon in the summertime. So what I'm going to do is that 1 tote right there plus 2 more totes will go on one of those pallets that'll be across this side, right where the wheelbarrow, cement mixer, and ladder is. It'll go across that side with 3 totes on there, which will give me a windbreak to my greenhouse. And then I can manifold those 3 together, manifold those 3 together, and I will be set up the way I want it. So then I'll have a total of 6 totes on this side, plus that one for the 7th, plus my barrels. I probably eliminate those down the line because I don't really need them there, and add another tote right beside that one. And that'll give me 8 totes at 275 gallons each. Anybody want to do the math on that? All right. So 8 at 275, that's a lot of water down there. And that should last me quite a while if we ever get any rain. Speaking of rain, last night when I went to bed, the winds were blowing, or just a nice breeze. I'd say probably 10 miles an hour. Just really nice. And it cooled down a little bit after the sunset, so I opened the windows in the bedroom, and I had the wind blowing through right over my head, going out by my feet on the other side of the room. And it was just like having a nice fan on all night long. I just fell asleep and slept really well. Then all of a sudden I was awakened by somebody splashing water in my face. And I'm going, am I dead? Somebody trying to revive me? What's going on here? And my eyes popped open, and guess what? It was raining out. And it was coming in through my window. So I had to get up and shut all the windows facing that side of the cabin, and keep the rain from coming into the cabin. but it only lasted about 5 minutes. Didn't get anything in the rain gauge here. It was just a little bit of aggravation in the night, and then the humidity went up, and then I had to turn on the air conditioner and ceiling fan instead. That's what happened last night, and right now I'm going to close this off, set it to upload, and I'm going to grab my hose down there by that tote and get it over and water these mulberry trees. They're all coming back from the drought that hit them when the last heat wave came through, and I want to keep it that way. So I'll soak them all down before going into the cabin for the night, and I think I'm going to cook a nice piece of cross rib on the barbecue tonight with some corn on the cob and maybe some steamed vegetables with a little butter on top of them. And that should just make me satisfied for the night. Maybe I'll sleep better tonight. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Oh, one other thing. I put my little stool back down here because this thing, when I sit in it, my upper chest and the top of my body is out of the water. So I can get down sit on this, and then the water is up to my chin. So I'm pretty much submerged, and I tilt my head back, and then I can soak my head and my hair, get those wet. And then when there's a light breeze blowing across here, as it evaporates, it's nice and cool. It does really cools the body down quickly. But anyway, I was laughing because I saw this on here, Finding Nemo, and I saw that on the chair, and then when I was sitting on it, I looked down and I thought I was seeing double from the heat. Oh God! All right, everybody, enough of that. That's it. This is G Bear thanking you for joining me. Don't forget the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. G Bear signing off.